I hope you guys can hear me now. If anyone doesn't have the link, let me get a new link for all of you guys. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me now. I posted the link in both the Facebook group page as well as the meetup page. So I'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to get here. I hope you all can hear me now. Just send me a message if you still can't hear me. All right, can you all hear me? All right, great. Thank you all for joining me. Sorry about the problems earlier. I'm not sure what was going on. But yeah, this is just going to be a weekly horoscope. I'm going to start off just going through the planetary transits, and then I'm just going to draw a tarot card for each zodiac sign. It's going to be kind of like a little extra horoscope. So if you know your rising sign, which is your ascendant sign, there's a link on the meetup page to find your rising sign. That can be helpful because it'll determine what house each planet would be in. Or you can just use your sun sign, which is your zodiac sign. All right, so there's a little bit going on here in the sky. It's backwards, but basically, in the first zodiac sign, Aries, Mars is placed in Aries. So with Mars in Aries, that's where it likes to be. It just entered Aries not too long ago. So it's in the first 15 degrees of Aries. And it's all about action and being assertive, strength, working together with people to complete a goal. So anyone who is in the process of going through, financial projects or projects with their career, especially if they're in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn sign. If that is your zodiac sign, you're even more so going to have success in any kind of business dealings that you're going to do this week. So this is a great time for that. And now with Mercury being direct, so it's not moving backwards anymore. Mercury was in retrograde, and now it's back going direct. Even more so, the business dealings and things like signing contracts are much are much better at this time. Let's see if I can pull up the chart so you can all look at it. All right, so next, we have the sun that's been in Cancer for the last 3 to 4 weeks, and it is going to be transitioning to Leo, which is the next sign over. And the sun likes being in Leo. That's its home sign. So this is a good placement for the sun. You could have started out earlier in the week. I'm sorry, earlier in the weekend, having a relatively hard time with emotions. But that's all going to change when the sun moves out of Cancer and into Leo. This is a great time for, just like with the Mars, collaborating with people in the workplace, teaching people, such as children, doing things like that. And also just progressing towards any goals you have. So, especially if you are a Leo, or if you are a fire sign, so that would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These people are going to have a lot of success working towards goals as well. Now, going back to Mars, it's also putting a square on Mercury. So this week there might be some problems as far as communication goes. When Mars and Mercury are at difficult positions, that's when you have real volatile and harsh communication. So at least, beginning in the middle of the week, it would be wise when you're communicating with people not to get, not to attack people. Don't use your voice as a weapon or use communication as a weapon. This is especially the case since Mercury is in Cancer, which is the zodiac sign of the mother, the home life, family, your parents. It's best if you can really avoid confrontation with any kind of verbal arguments. I know it's hard sometimes, especially still being in quarantine and you're around your family so much. You're not going to other places as much right now, but it's very wise if you could just try to avoid those verbal conflicts. Or if you are going to have a discussion, make sure it's very calm and you're hearing their side of the story. Especially if, once again, if you're in one of those cardinal signs, so if your zodiac sign is Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, it's also very important you do that. So getting into midweek, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, there's let me bring this up again. There is, I know it's hard to read because it's backwards. Jupiter is going to be putting a trine on Neptune. So, I'm sorry, a sextile. So a sextile, that's a little star right here, and that's a very harmonious aspect. And Neptune is all about spirituality and imagination, creativity. It can also mean illusion and delusion and addiction. But when it has this sextile, that's very good. And basically, you're wanting to expand your knowledge spiritually, philosophically. It's a great time for doing research. Um, it's a great time for expanding your views on various topics. So this is a great aspect to have. It's also a great aspect of going through any kind of spiritual awakening. So if you've noticed changes, things like ringing in the ears, um, kind of getting that random intuition, you can definitely thank Neptune and Jupiter for that one. Jupiter is in the sign of Capricorn, and it really doesn't like being in the sign of Capricorn. So um, that's a little difficult, but with Neptune being in its home sign of Pisces, um, that really makes up for it, and it's providing a very nice aspect. All right. So as we get later on into the week, um, what's still going on with the slower planets? So it's like, let me point here. These planets right here, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, they're all in the sign of Capricorn, and they're all retrograde right now. So they're all moving backwards. Basically, what means is just it's not doing its usual function. It's doing something that's um, not what it's supposed to be doing. Um, so with Saturn, with Pluto, and Jupiter, you can expect a lot of blockages with the knowledge, with expanding your knowledge, teaching, learning, anything that deals with spirituality and philosophy. That's all Jupiter. And Pluto is all about transformation, ending relationships and situations, and beginning new ones. So that can be difficult, but Jupiter here is in a sextile with Neptune. So, like we just talked about before, that means that there's a lot um, of benefit, despite it being kind of a hard placement for Jupiter. Um, and now, pretty much for the whole week, as far as love and relationships goes, um, you might be having a lot of anxiety with relationships or potential relationships. So it's best to not focus too much on it. The three cards I pulled out here, three tarot cards that really represent what's going on with love and relationships based on the planetary alignment. The Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, and the Lovers. So there is a definite tough situation that you may be going through, but it may not be as bad as you think it is. So there may be a decision that needs to be made for a lot of you, especially if you are a Gemini or you're a Sagittarius. There might be a very difficult situation that you have to decide on, and the ramifications are possibly big if you don't make the right decision. Um, so basically, the position of Venus is telling you to take your time. There's two important decisions you need. There's one important decision you need to make with, two or more options, and it's providing some anxiety right now. But if you just, slow down, take it slow, and really try to think about it, you'll definitely be able to get the right course of action. And so Venus in Gemini is represented by the Lovers. So the Lovers is not only does it represent decisions and choices to make, it also represents a union with someone. So this very well could involve your love life, or you could be single or in a relationship, and it could represent things going on with your love life. Any questions so far with the horoscope so far? Summarizing now, it's things to look out for, making quick, impulsive decisions, especially around midweek, being very hostile with communication, especially around family members. Definitely promote the spirituality you might be feeling in the upcoming couple days, because it's definitely there. But does anyone have any questions so far? You can just type any question at any time in the chat box, and I will be happy to answer it. Now, getting into the bigger planets, the faster moving planets, such as the moon. The moon is having a tough transit at the beginning of the week. I'm sorry, just the opposite. A very light transit at the beginning of the week. It's going to be trine Saturn. So if any of you are familiar with astrology, when the moon is with Saturn, Saturn represents restriction, being serious, kind of like that wise old man that very, very slow and methodical as far as their demeanor when it comes to making decisions. So it also can represent restriction. So you might be showing at the beginning of the week some restricted emotions, like you're not trying to show your emotions. And that can be both good and bad. Certain times you want to show emotions, but it's definitely not a bad thing when you don't. People might not be able to handle emotions all the time. So that's just Saturn trying to control the moon and trying to control your emotions. And now it does move into a square towards the end of the week, and that's a little more challenging. That can be tougher. And so the moon moves very fast. It's about 13 degrees a day. So towards the end of the week, when it's placing a square on the moon, this is where communication and the thought process in your mind, because the moon really represents your mind, along with representing your mother, your home life, your parents. It also represents the mind. So this is a relatively tough aspect to deal with later on in the week. But the good thing about squares, so a square is 90 degrees away. Squares are good for finding areas in your life that you need to work on. So maybe over the last couple days you haven't been very good about expressing your emotions. Later on in the week, this is going to come to the forefront of your mind where you're going to want to work on expressing your emotions. So it is difficult, but it also is helpful. Difficult aspects are better than no aspects at all. So if the moon was not aspecting Saturn, it would have a worse effect than if it was placing a square, placing a any other kind of hard aspect, such as like an opposition. So, and this is especially the case if, since the moon rules Cancer. So if your sun sign is in Cancer, or your rising or moon or Venus is in Cancer, this is especially the case. All right. So, any questions so far? All right. Now, moving on to the sun. So, the sun moves about 1 degree a day. So, it's in every zodiac sign for about 30 days. So, it's going to start off the week not in a really tough transit, but it's going to be opposite Saturn. So we just talked about Saturn a little bit. When the sun is opposite Saturn, there may be some restriction with your ego, your personality. So midweek, end of the week, you might have trouble, expressing yourself, expressing yourself outwardly. You might be going through a situation where you're having a hard time finding out who you really are. And that's very typical for a sun opposite Saturn transit. And this is an aspect that doesn't come around a lot. So it's pretty much once, maybe twice a year. So it is a difficult aspect. It's also a helpful one, though, because you can really do some introspection on who you are, what you are trying to stand for, especially if you're around the age of 29, 30, 59, 60. Every 30 years, Saturn makes a full circle. So it's what it's called is a Saturn return. So every it goes all the way around the wheel and it's back to the starting position. So if you're right around 28, 29, 30, 31, this aspect is going to affect you even more. So it could provide some distress, but you can work through it if you just try not to overthink everything. Try to let life come to you. All right. Well, if there's no questions, let me just summarize everything one more time. Basically, generally speaking, there are some difficult transits for the week. Um, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are still in Capricorn, and they're all retrograde. So they're doing the opposite of what they should be doing. Um, Mars is in its home sign, so Mars is very strong right now, and it's afflicting or putting stress on Mercury. So that's where communication needs to be softer. It needs to be more harmonious and not so harsh. Try to avoid harsh verbal arguments with people that you care about. Um, you may have decisions to be made in your love life, and that might have, you know, potentially harmful ramifications. So take your time in making any decisions over the next week. Um, Spirituality is something you should be stressing in your life right now, um, all throughout the week. Neptune is going to be with Jupiter for a pretty long time, at least through August, because Neptune moves very slowly and Jupiter is moving very slowly right now because it's going backwards. So spirituality is going to be a big stress. You should stress that in your life, especially if you're a Pisces. Any person who has their sun, moon, Venus, or rising sign in Pisces definitely um, is going to be thinking about spirituality at this time. And towards the end of the week, it's going to be hard to express your emotions and express your feelings, with the moon having a difficult aspect to Saturn. One thing I'm going to note about that is the moon moves very fast. So it is squared Saturn roughly 2 times a month. So this is not an energy you've never felt before. The moon is quite frequently square Saturn. Um, so, you can think about it. The last 2 weeks, you probably had one moment or one day, the last 14 or 15 days, where you haven't been able to really express yourself well emotionally or been able to express your feelings to your loved ones. That can be a direct result of the moon having a square on Saturn. Um, Basically, what I'm saying is that it's an energy you felt before, so you don't have to worry. Just because it's a difficult aspect doesn't mean you can't get through it. All right, so now we're gonna get more into specifics for your zodiac sign. Um, so I'm going to draw tarot cards now. So we're going to start with the fire signs. So that would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now I'm going to draw a love oracle card and then just a regular tarot card. So you see those. So we're going to start with fire signs first. So that'll be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So basically, you get one of these oracle cards, and then there's going to be one card for each phase of life. So it's going to be health, love, and career. And, you know, family relationships or relationships with close friends, that can be put under love. All right, so let's start with Aries. I'm just going to bring the camera down a little bit so you guys can see the cards. And if you have a specific question you want to ask that I can answer with the tarot cards, please type it in the box. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions with the tarot. All right, so Aries, sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. So, I guess you could call that negative, but we'll see what the tarot cards say. Leo, addiction. So codependency, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, and restraint. And so Leo is the sign of the sun. And as you know, the sun is opposite Saturn. And this card, Leo, got was addiction that deals with having a block and restraint. So that would definitely be Saturn energy right there. And now Sagittarius, lightning. Sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. Great card for Sagittarius to get because they are ones that are very spiritually minded. So now we're going to draw tarot cards. All right, Aries. So right now, you're feeling very good when it comes to love. Maybe in the past, you could have had issues, but you could have just walked away from a situation and could have left some things behind, but you learned a lot in the process. Let me show you the cards. So Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Seven of Swords. So you have confidence right now, but don't look back. Don't be going back to an ex's Facebook or Instagram profile and checking up on them. I mean, you can if you want, but if you've left some things behind, you should just leave it behind. That's what's going to help you out in the long run when it comes to love and relationships. Career, you're showing a lot of good strides in your career. Be careful not to get too emotionally attached to your workplace because your workplace can always change. Things happen, especially right now with people getting laid off, with the shutdowns, and health-wise, it would be good to avoid any kind of indulgence with whether it be food, drink, anything recreationally. Try to avoid that. Um, Especially, with, the COVID-19 going around, it's always good to avoid that, because Queen of Cups here is water energy, so that's, all about, immune system, lymph glands. So try to keep your body healthy, and try to drink plenty of water right now. All right, let's go to Leo. All right, so Leo, as far as your love life goes, you may have had a kind of an addiction with a certain person, or maybe you've been struggling with a addiction disorder as far as substance abuse. Um, but you're going to show strength very soon. You're going to show strength, and you're not going to need that codependent relationship. As far as your career, it's very positive. The Three of Pentacles. So this is all about progressing towards your goals in your career. It's important now to work hard, um, and not get too distracted. It's good to show restraint with certain things. Like, you don't want to take on way too much than you can handle when it comes to your career. But you need a very well balanced, grounded approach to your career. Still need to work hard, but you need to not take on too much so you don't get burned out. Um, as far as your health, the Two of Pentacles. This is a great card to get if basically you can control your own destiny when it comes to your health. So things like positive affirmations are really going to help your health right now. So definitely keep staying positive, and make sure you get enough sleep, you drink enough water, you eat right. All right, finally, Sagittarius. All right, so with your love life and with relationships right now, Sagittarius, you are um, you're feeling that youth again. Maybe it's a career. You could have had a career change that is really giving you a boost. It's kind of spiced things up as far as your love life goes. You're got a new exciting thing going on. So I'm thinking that there could have been a transformation that allowed you to change careers, or change your goals as far as what you're working towards in life. Now, as far as your career, the Judgment card we got here for career, um, you might be dealing with a situation at work where someone could have wronged you, or you could have wronged someone, and things are going to come to light. And if you've been wronged by someone, um, karma is going to come around and, one, help you, And two, make anyone who who wronged you responsible for it. So always do the right thing, especially when it comes to your career, because karma always comes around. As you can see, the sun is rising from the clouds in this picture, so a light's going to be shined on something. And now for your health, the Chariot, which is a lot of Cancer and Moon energy. So you too should be very well hydrated, making sure you don't overindulge in sweets and things like that. All right. Next, we're going to move on to Earth signs. So that's going to be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Same format. I'm going to draw a love oracle card for you guys, and then 3 tarot cards. And if anyone has any questions regarding the tarot cards, if you have a certain question you want answered, certain situation going on in your life that you might be dealing with very soon, please ask a question in the chat box. So Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus, passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. So very great card for you, Taurus. Girl talk. Unfortunately, these cards can be a little one-sided when it comes to masculine, feminine. So this can mean going out with, if you're a guy, going out with guy friends. It doesn't have to be just speaking with women or girls. So this is for Virgo. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. And Capricorn, karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. So pretty solid oracle cards for you guys, for all the earth signs. So let's see what the tarot cards are saying. So first for Taurus. All right. So first card, I got 5 of Cups. So with relationships and love, you may be leaving a situation. And with this passion card, I'm thinking, Taurus, that you might have found someone new, and it's a great chemistry. In your career, 4 of Wands, Aries energy. So you are progressing towards something. As you can see in this picture, there's a little bridge across the river leading to that house. You are progressing towards a goal you have as far as your career goes. And finally, the 9 of Pentacles here. So you've experienced some growth, but there's something holding you back. You see with the bird here on his shoulder, there's hope and optimism that you're able to overcome whatever you're going through. So you may have had some bad news regarding health, but try to stay optimistic. Try to be as healthy as you can. This is Virgo energy, so be very careful when it comes to your stomach. People with Virgo people tend to have problems with the stomach. This is for Taurus, so they sometimes can overindulge in food. That's one of the problems, and anything related to the throat. So making sure you stay hydrated, making sure if you are like a smoker, not to overdo it, not to damage anything related to the throat or esophagus, as well as your hands. Taurus can represent the hands, so it's important to keep your hands healthy. If you're struggling with something like arthritis, making sure that you're doing exercises or whatever your doctor wants you to do. All right, so Virgo, you're next, and this time with friends, happily single. You may have possibly, it looks like someone's got a question. Let me just finish up Virgos. It looks like you are a Virgo. So let's see. For Virgo, relationship, Queen of Wands. This is a good card, especially if you are a Virgo, because Queen of Wands does represent Virgo a little bit. It's all about stability, independence, and growth. So let me pull a card on your question. Yeah, I'm seeing. Now, of course, when I answer your question, you don't have to. Don't judge your decision solely based on the tarot cards. But the Seven of Swords, I'm getting that you have recently left a situation, or you may be leaving a situation. This could be a person who has a lot of Aquarius in their chart. I'm not sure if it was Aquarius. And here with the Queen of Cups, what's going on, as we got this before, is lots of intuition, emotions, independence. The Queen of Cups is a lot of independence, so I'm seeing a lot of independence here. So maybe there is a someone who who could have a lot of water in their chart, or you could meet someone relatively soon who has a lot of water. And finally, Three of Pentacles. So as far as the question goes, if you're phrasing the question is whether you should stay in a relationship, the card I drew would say no. And is a new love on the horizon? With the Queen of Cups here, I would say maybe. Queen of Cups is a positive card, so it's usually a yes card, but it also represents a lot of independence. I'm thinking basically the tarot is saying that you may want to or will be leaving a situation behind, but you're possibly carrying some burden with you when you do that. So possibly the situation hasn't been good for you recently, but it could be that you just want to be more independent, like the relationship has run its course. And possibly it would be good to focus on your career, focus on other things. Of course, I'm not saying one way or the other. If your intuition tells you to stay in a relationship, you shouldn't end a relationship based on this reading. But it seems like there's certain things in your life that you should be stressing, and maybe a career or school academics is one of them. You would have a lot of success if you focused a lot of energy on setting goals in that part of your life. So you're a Virgo, and the oracle card I got for Virgo is time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. So to answer your question, I would say that the cards are saying maybe the relationship has run its course, and maybe you just need a little time. So maybe it's not like an end of a relationship. Maybe it's just a little break. But definitely do some thinking and some introspection. If you are interested, I can do a 15-card reading about a relationship. It's very detailed. And you can just send me a message if you would like, either on Meetup or Facebook, or here, and we can set that up. And the last sign here is Capricorn. Karmic relationship, fleeting, triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. So there might be some karma here going on with you, Capricorn. Let's draw some cards. All right. So with your love life, things are going good. You're having fun. You are, well, I'm glad that resonated with you. Hopefully that's enough information, Sonia, on to guide you in the right direction. Capricorn, love life is good. There's been a lot of growth. There's still obstacles to hurdle as you see the dark cloud and the mountains in the background. But right now, you could call it the calm before the storm. So things are going well. You're enjoying life, especially with your love life. So maybe you're in a new relationship, or you've met someone that you really connect with, and you're taking it slow. Career, Seven of Pentacles. Number 7 is all about truth. So I think with your career, you're finding out what you really want to do, Capricorn, with your life. And this is important to you especially because you're very much tied closely to your career. Capricorn is all about the public image, making a living, very down-to-earth qualities. Health, Knight of Wands. I would say the health is going pretty well. Knight of Wands is a good card to get, very youthful, full of strength. So you may have let something go recently, and things are going well. You let go of a possibly toxic situation going on, and you're definitely seeing the benefits. All right, let's go to air sign. So this is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. If anyone has any questions, any personal questions, you'd be happy to ask it. You can always send me a message too if you don't want to ask your question in front of other people. So what is going on? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All right, Gemini, girl with a snake. So empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. This is some qualities of Gemini. I don't think Geminis are narcissistic or using people or get used, but they definitely have their boundaries. And you really can't have too many emotions with them. They like to communicate, but they don't like restriction. So you can see the snake around the girl's waist. They don't like restrictions. Libra, runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. So maybe you feel something with someone, but you just don't want to go with it. You're afraid. Maybe you've had hurt in the past that you are just afraid to really give yourself to anyone. Now Aquarius, love. And lately I've been getting good readings for Aquarius people. So something's going on with that Aquarius energy. Unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. So there might be someone new in your life. Let's see what the tarot cards say. All right, so for Gemini, Six of Cups, Scorpio energy. So a lot of good things coming. A lot of growth in your love life right now, and that kind of goes against the Oracle card. So maybe you were dealing with someone who was very narcissistic, and you felt used, and now you've moved on from that, and you're very happy. So the number 6, of course, is 3 times 2, so duality and trine combined. So it's a very positive number. It's also the number of the sextile, because 6 times 60 would be 360. So definitely a good card for you, Gemini. And now your career goes Queen of Wands. We've had this one before. I can't remember exactly who got it, but this is all about independence, being creative, intuition, going after your goals, growth, stability. So I think right now you have a lot of stability with your career, and you're doing well in your career. So that's 8 of Cups. Now just be careful. The 8 of Cups is really about being alone, unfortunately, or just maybe being affected by the quarantine. you like communication. You like to be around people. You're an air sign, so you like talking. So just be careful on how you spend that alone time. You don't want to get into addiction problems or anything like that. So just be very health conscious right now. Um, and being healthy is important to you, Gemini. So it shouldn't be too hard. And now, Libra. So you got the runner. So a runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy and listening to the ego. All right, Libra. First card you got is Knight of Swords. So I'm thinking with your love life, you want to find someone who is intellectually on par with you. Um, you may have been dealing with someone who's really needy and dependent on you, and you just don't want that anymore. So this is just a new step towards a different relationship. Even if you really care about this past person, is what you need for your peace of mind is someone who isn't so clingy, isn't so dependent on you. The career. This is your career card. It's death. So it doesn't mean physical death. It could, but it rarely means physical death. It's not necessarily a bad card. It's Scorpio energy, so it's all about transformation, moving on from a situation, um, having a situation end or die off, and then starting on something new. So maybe you've switched careers. As you see, the sun is setting here in the background. So you see the sun is setting, something new is beginning. It's not necessarily a negative thing. There's going to be challenges if you're starting a new job, but I don't necessarily feel like there's a negative outcome. In health, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune's all about things that happen that we just don't have control over. So it may be good or bad, but there's nothing you can really do about it. So there might be an illness you've recently been diagnosed with that is challenging, and you've been wondering what you can do about it. Certain things you can't do about when it comes to medical health and illnesses. So you just try to be as healthy as you can, and the rest, it's really not up to you. Um, so not a bad reading for Libra. And finally, Aquarius, who's been getting great love readings. So unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. All right. Your love life, Two of Wands. Very good. You've met someone recently who you connect with on a creative, intuitive, and as far as your personality goes, this card represents Mars and Aries. So right now, I would say is going to be something new in your love life, because right now Mars is in Aries. It's in the first 10 degrees. So it's definitely something's going on with you, Aquarius, as far as your love goes. You met someone that you really care for. With your career, the Hangman, Pisces and water, Neptune energy. There's some restriction and some illusion with your career. Maybe you thought you were in the right career, but now you're changing your mind. or maybe you're very intuitive with what's going on. Maybe you work in mental health and you've seen an uptick of people who are struggling right now, and you're finding it hard to help them cope because of everything going on. But I'm feeling like there's some restriction in your career, but overall, it shows that you're going to be growing and you're going to be improving in your career. You just have to get past this hurdle. You have to see through the illusions. And finally, health-wise, Four of Pentacles. This is all about integrating all parts of your life: body, mind, mental, spirit, physical. Bringing all the parts of your physical and mental body together. So this is definitely a card, possibly of the crown chakra. So if you're in the chakra healing, that would be a one to maintain and work on and make sure is not blocked. As you see, it's coming up from the head, like is usually described and showed in the crown chakra. So definitely making sure you're maintaining mental as well as physical health, because mental health and spiritual health is very important as well. All right, finally, we have water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Three phases of life: love, career, and health. And if you have any questions, please type it in the box. Let me know. All right, Cancer, healthy choices. Scorpio, I like you. And Pisces, cassette. So Cancer, healthy choices. Making healthy choices in love and in life. Self-love, self-care, being happier. All right, let's see. Tarot. And right now, Cancer, you have the sun moving out of your sign and heading into Leo. And you have a new moon over the next couple days, so emotions may be high right now. So Cancer people, just be aware that your emotions might be a little high, but that's okay. Something new is coming with the new moon. Okay. All right, Cancer, King of Pentacles for your love card. So most likely dealing with a Taurus or a Capricorn. I'm feeling it's more Taurus. So you might have a relationship with one, or you've had a past relationship, and this is all about moving on. So maybe you had a relationship with someone that wasn't really, healthy for you, both in your love life and your physical life. And since you've moved on, you've been happier, and you see the animal, the bull behind him. So definitely don't look back. If you're happy, keep looking forward. Your career, Five of Wands. This is a great card to get for career because this is all about working together with other people and working on a goal. This is Saturn and Leo energy. So yeah, this is Saturn and Leo energy. So working together with a team, enjoying working with people. So a very good card to get for career. And now Nine of Swords. Got this earlier with a previous sign. I can't remember exactly who it was. So Nine of Swords is all about maybe there's something with your health that you were really worried about, but it actually, in the end, is not that bad. So maybe you could have thought you were getting COVID or something relatively, harmful. Um, and it turns out it's not as bad as you thought. Maybe you had to go in for a test because a doctor suspected something really bad, and your mind was just racing, and it's not as bad as you think it is. So that's a positive thing, but make sure to maintain your health. All right, so Cancer. Now on to Scorpio, and the card is I like you. So if someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun flirting, wants a date. That's a good card to get for your love life, Scorpio. All right, so love for Scorpio, the Hermit. So this is Virgo energy. This is the archetype of Virgo, the Hermit. So this is someone who likes their alone time. So maybe in a relationship, you like someone, but you also, and you want to date them, but you also don't want too much time with them. Um, and when someone doesn't respect your space, then you tend to go back into your shell. And this is pretty common for a Scorpio. It's definitely a card that you might draw a lot for a Scorpio because they do like their alone time and they don't like people who are constantly um, crowding them. So, as far as your career goes, Knight of Wands. This is a pretty good card. You have lots of confidence. You're starting something new. Creativity is good, but just make sure not to get too overconfident when it comes to your career. Always be trying to learn and improve because we all can improve on something. Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy here. So with your health, so this card is saying maybe look to your career to provide help with your health. So maybe fixing all areas of your life will help you stay healthy. So if you're dealing with a little bit of a health concern, maybe work on your career, maybe work on your spirituality and your mental health. And that could be enough to make you feel better with your physical health. So you need all aspects of life to be working correctly for you to improve physically. All right, the final sign, Pisces. In Pisces, you got the Oracle card you got was outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. So lots of second guessing. Very Pisces-like energy. All right. Six of Swords. You may be dealing with a difficult situation that was very turbulent before, but now is better. But still, you're not feeling totally stable. And you do have some more hurdles to climb in your love life. This is Aquarius energy, so you could have been dealing with an Aquarius or someone with a lot of Aquarius in their chart. With your career, Eight of Wands, you have some things left to be achieved, but you are progressing well towards your goals in your career. You have a few hills to climb, but they aren't that steep. So you see the end is near. You see you're close to the finish line. You just have to keep going with it. Finally, your health, the High Priestess, water energy. So make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you take care of your immune system, making sure you're not you're making sure you get enough sleep, you're drinking enough water, and definitely make sure you're taking care of shoulder to waist region, because the High Priestess represents the moon, and the moon is all about chest, shoulder area, as well as the lower legs. So, um, so going back to the Oracle card, try not to keep overplaying these events in your head. Try to just relax, calm down, and move on, move forward. Don't move backwards. You weathered the storm, so now keep going with it in your love life. All right, thank you everyone for joining me. That is all of the zodiac signs and all of the planetary transits. If anyone has any questions, you can ask it now, or you can send me a message on Facebook. You can post to this YouTube video, or you can message me on Meetup as well. So thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next Sunday night when we do this again. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend.